Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I just made some tea for another video for my Peter Does Stuff channel. I did a video showing me making tea, and so here is the finished product, which is delicious. I mean, why wouldn't it be? I made it. I'm such a cook. I'm a horrible cook. But I can make tea. So anyway, I did a video, so go check that out on my Peter Does Stuff channel. But I wanted to do something a little bit different over here today. I am feeling a little disappointed in the books that I bought for 2021 as far as the meditation books. The only one I really like so far is A Year of Positive Thinking. I was actually talking to a friend of mine, and I said something about... She was reading, this was so crazy, she was reading about Stoicism, and I said, oh, then you would love this meditation book that I had called The Daily Stoic, and she was like, I love The Daily Stoic, and I said, well, I'm struggling with it, and she said, yes, Stoicism can be, difficult, and I was like, it's very difficult, so I don't know, we'll have to take a little bit of a break on that book, but anyway, I'm going to read from A Year of Positive Thinking, Daily Inspiration, Wisdom, and Courage by Cindy Spiegel, and then I thought that we would go back and, I know, but I love her so much, that we would go back and revisit Melody Beatty, because you guys know how passionate I am about her two meditation books, The Language of Letting Go, which is a sister book to Codependent No More, and Codependent, Beyond Codependency, and the Melody Beatty's Journey to the Heart. Daily Meditations on the Path to Freeing Your Soul. This is probably, I used to love this one, and this I would say was my favorite, but this one is a little bit more like personal, like the stories are personal. So anyway, let's get into today's meditations. We're going to read from the new book first, because I do actually want to use this, A Year of Positive Thinking by Cindy Spiegel. So let's go to January 18th and see what it's one sentence, you guys. Light it up, January 18th, light it up. You can light up your own damn life. Stop waiting for someone else to do it for you. I mean, some of these meditations in here kind of crack me up, but I do agree with that. I think so much of life, we wait for, we're waiting for this great opportunity, or we're waiting for if only this happened, or if only that happened. But I think those people that are truly enjoying life are the ones that are going out there and they're getting it from themselves, I can remember when I was watching BookTube videos, and I wanted to be such a part of the BookTube world. I still to this day, I find new BookTubers and I just watch every video that they've ever put out, And I love to see what they read and what their favorite books are, and what opinions they have about books and all this kind of stuff. So, I had put a book out. I had written and published a book, and which I read the entire thing on my BookTube channel. If you have any desire to read that, it's you can go over to my BookTube channel, Peter Likes Books, and this summer it's called The Before, Now, and After Then, and it's 8 parts or something like that, and I read the whole book because the book is currently out of print. So anyway, I had published this book, and then I was listening to a lot of audiobooks, and I was watching, and I was reading a lot, and I was watching a lot of BookTube, and I was like, I want to be part of this world. And I can remember thinking to myself, no, I can't do this, or I'm too old, or I'm too heavy. The weight thing really was stopping me. And I was like, okay, I'll lose 60 pounds and then I'll do this. A lot of people have probably already heard this story because I've talked about it on here. And I even kind of mentioned it to my husband and to my best friend, who are very aware of the fact that I start new projects on the daily, right? So they're like, oh, another project. And so I kind of unknowingly to everybody else in my personal life, I started a Twitter, I started a YouTube channel, and what else? And I started the Instagram with Peter Likes Books on it. And I wanted Peter Loves Books, but that was already taken. So by one of them, I don't know which one, which account, but I wanted it to be cohesive overall. And I remember I was sitting here one day, and I just was like, I really want to start this. And I was sitting over there, and I was being so hard on myself about my weight. I was like, I don't want to see myself on camera, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take 6 months, I'm going to lose 60 pounds, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to start BookTube. And the next thought was you aren't going to lose 60 pounds in the next 6 months. If this is something that you really want to do, start it now. And so I filmed my first video, and if you go back and watch that video, I'm not horribly nervous, but I was nervous. I was like, so this is what I think. I mean, it was a very innocent first video. I was like, this is what I'm going to have to offer, and I'm so excited to be part of BookTube and whatever. So, I love to go back and watch that video sometimes to remind me of where I started, and that what it all started for me was like this passion and this love of just like, there was a part of the world that I wanted to be part of, and I just couldn't not be part of it anymore. And that's how I felt about BookTube. And in my life, I have always felt on the outside looking in. I've often always felt like I'm waiting for something. Too, what was I waiting for? A booktuber to say, start a channel? So if you're out there and you're waiting for somebody to tell you, start a channel. If you've been wanting to start a YouTube channel, start a channel. One of the things that makes me so happy is when people come to me and they're like, I started my channel because of you, because you're always so supportive of other people starting a channel. Okay, maybe you aren't going to be the next 10 million subscribed person. Who cares? Do it because you love it. That's the happiest thing that people tell me, is that they started channels because I encourage people to start channels. When people, small channels, encourage me to start a channel, so it's just passing it on. But the other thing that makes me kind of sad sometimes is when people contact me and they're like, nobody's watching my videos, like I don't know how to, whatever, and like I'm not getting any views. And it makes me sad because, number one, don't we all just want people to watch our videos? Don't we all just want somebody to tell us that we're good enough or that we're okay? There's probably a few of you out there that are like, no, I never feel like that. But I think the majority of us, want a pat on the back. They want somebody to say, I really like your outfit, or you did a fantastic job, or that was a good book report, or you know what, I really like what you have to say, or you're just fun to be around. I think most of us light up when we have a compliment. It's like the Toni Morrison saying when she was on Oprah, that Oprah said, what do kids look for? And she said, kids look for your critical eye. That when you come in a room, you're looking at them like, are their laces tied? Is their shirt tucked in? And what they want to see is, when you walk in a room, do your eyes light up? And I think it's such a great question. It's probably one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned in my life, When people walk in a room, do their eyes light up? To this day, when my husband comes in the door at the end of the day, I always am like, I'm looking for that. When I go pick up my friend and she gets in the car, I'm looking for her, not to be like on her phone looking down, but to be like excited to see me, because I want my friends and the people around me to be happy that I'm in their lives. You know what I mean? And I think that most of us want that on some level. I think to do things just because of that is then we're seeking it too much, and we have to seek it for ourselves, right? But I think we all like compliments and validation. You know what I mean? It's like Augie said in the book Wonder, we all deserve a standing ovation at least once in our life. And I believe that, It's just not to go after that feeling for the entirety of our life. So we have to have that always. And I think much of our lives is spent waiting for other people to make the first move, Much of our lives is spent like, oh, I like this person, and if they would only talk to me, or I like, And it's like the moments in my life where I have taken initiative and started a YouTube channel, or, reached out to my husband or whatever, started a friendship. It's been like, those have been moments of like amazement in my life. I still look back and I think about my BookTube partner, Mel, who is one of my dearest friends in my entire life. I said this on my vlog last night, and I mean it. The one singular greatest thing that came as a result of my BookTube channel was my friendship with Mel. If I never received anything else from my BookTube channel, okay, never was introduced to any books, never started a book club, never did anything, but I got that friendship as a result of my BookTube channel, that is enough. Like, that was just huge, right? And we talk all the time. She's one of my dearest friends, and loyal beyond belief. I just adore her, And I can remember when she reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want some help on this book club? Because what was that? My glasses. Because I started this book club. I was like, do I ever, And had she not reached out, like, we would never have met. We would never have gotten as close as we are. We would never have, like, half of it's hers, like, we run it together. So it's just like this cool, and she loves it, and, we get to talk about true crime. We've had some opportunities that have been just amazing, CrimeCon reached out to us, and, it's just been some really cool things that have happened as a result of it. Not to mention that, my husband surprised me with a trip to go see her last year. So I got to meet her in person, and we got to hang out, and, did some videos with her, and that was just a great thing. But like, had neither one of us taken the first move, like, that friendship would not be existing here, It's like, people ask me like how Tanya and I met. Well, it was through her kennel, and then she said, just stop by sometime, and hang out, and we'll smoke a cigarette together. This was 24 years ago, and I would drive by her kennel every day, lonely. I had gone through a breakup, and I was like, oh, I should, but my fear and my social anxiety stopped me from doing it. And I don't know what it was. One day, about 3 weeks later, 2 weeks, I don't know how long, I just was like, screw it. And I went in there, and we talked, and we started having a conversation that hasn't stopped for 24 years, you know? Like, and I think part of it was how we receive people as well. You know, she made me feel so comfortable. She made me feel so, you know, Tanya was never anybody to make me feel outside of looking in, you know? She always made me feel part of. And I think that's something, that's a gift we can give people, you know, is to make them feel part of something. Especially people like me that have a lot of fear and social anxiety. She right, you know, out of the gate, like, was inviting me to, like, family dinners and, you know, game nights and, you know, just barbecues and all kinds of stuff. You know, she made me feel included in something. And then I started meeting other people, but I had to go outside of my comfort zone. And I think, you know, that's when we truly grow as human beings, is when we step outside of our comfort zone and into being uncomfortable. I mean, I think that's when, as human beings, we really do grow, you know? We don't grow out of sitting in comfortable situations and not making any difficult moves in our lives. Like, you know, we have to want to grow. It's like I say, you know, like when you're building muscle, you have to break it down to build it back up. It's kind of the same thing, right? So we can't sit around and wait for the other person to do something. We can't sit around and wait for the perfect opportunity to present itself. Sometimes we have to get on the road and do that ourselves, you know? And sometimes that's really, really hard. So anyway, great meditation. How much time do I have left? Okay, I've got about 40 minutes. I'm going to read one more meditation. Well, actually, let me look these both up and see what they are. This is from the language of letting go. Well, I don't know why I'm in May. Wishful thinking, right? Let's see. Oh, gratitude. This is a good one. January 18th, gratitude. And this is from the language of letting go. Sometimes in life, things happen too fast. We barely solve one problem when two new problems surface. We're feeling great in the morning, but we're submerged in misery by nightfall. God, I used to live that. Every day we face interruptions, delays, changes, and challenges. We face personality conflicts and disappointments. Often, when we're feeling overwhelmed, we can't see the lessons in these experiences. One simple concept can get us through the most stressful of times. It's called gratitude. We learn to say thank you for these problems and feelings. Thank you for the way things are. I don't like this experience, but thank you anyway. Force gratitude until it becomes habitual. Gratitude helps us stop trying to control outcomes. I just had this moment, did you see this? I just had this God moment thing happen to me. Force gratitude until it becomes habitual. Gratitude helps us stop trying to control outcomes. It is the key that unlocks positive energy in our life. It is the alchemy that turns problems into blessings and the unexpected into gifts. Today, I will be grateful. I will start the process of turning today's pain into tomorrow's joy. I love that. I had this kind of come to this moment of clarity. I was going to say come to Jesus moment, but I had this kind of moment of clarity where I was sitting there and I was like, forced gratitude is what she talks about in her book, which is called, I think, 40 Days and 40 Nights or something like that, which is right over there, which I've kind of been like playing with the idea of whether or not we should read it together on here. And I'm like, okay, is this a reminder? Today I just went in there and I was like, I'm doing the Melody Beatty books today. Did this all just kind of happen to tell me that I need to read that book and that would be a really good practice? Probably. Probably. She talks about forcing gratitude in there, which is a hard concept, I think, sometimes. But it's when you're in the middle of misery or unhappiness or going through something, or it's like you hate this house and it's like this crappy house and my crappy life, right? And then you change that to saying, I am so grateful for this amazing house. You kind of pay gratitude forward. I'm so grateful for this amazing life that I have. And you almost kind of like fake gratitude until you make it. You fake it till you make it, if that makes sense. And she talks about it in that book. And the whole idea is kind of to like, you force gratitude for the life that you want to have, you know? Rhonda Byrne talked about that in The Magic as well. It's not a new concept, but it's kind of like paying it forward with gratitude, you know? It's like, whatever it is you want in your life, you say, I'm grateful for this relationship in my life or whatever, you know? And then you kind of like, the whole idea is that you like manifest it into happening. It's an interesting concept. She talks a little bit about that. That's how she changed her house slowly, bit by bit. And I've talked about that over here. I don't know. I need to look at that book and see if I want to do that collectively or how I feel about that. Let me know what you guys think about that. Would you be up for doing another book together as a group? If so, then that would probably be my top pick. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.